Fred on the beat.
Alright, so I'm gonna open up to the media guys. If you guys have any questions specific for any player, just let me know and I'll make sure we give them the mic. Go ahead.
Aside from your own team, what teams do you think have improved the most from last year to this year in PG?
Friendly High School. I feel as Friendly High School improved the most from this year to last year. Yeah, Friendly High School.
Yes, sir.
What do you guys think about this organizing this media day for you guys to come out here and as like a warm up to the season?
Say your name and your year.
Jules McCoy, class of 2020. I just wanted to say PG County doesn't get a lot of buzz. Mostly it's mainly private schools like WCAC. So this media day is a good way to get a lot of what's it called? Unlike underdogs, get their name out.
Anybody else? Go ahead, Mark.
How many of you guys up here are on a new team this year?
1, 2, 3. He was right.
Only two new guys this year?
3. It was 3.
Three, okay. By show of hands, who played JV last year?
1, 2.
Only two guys?
2 guys.
Okay. I think that's something that's a testament to our league because a lot of guys go through our JV system. How many play JV at all at your school? Good majority of them. We're talking about some guys who already have some commitments to colleges, and we also have some guys who getting a lot of interest, Division I, Division II. So I think that's a testament to what the coaches are doing, that their kids are able to matriculate from the JV system to the varsity system. Any other? Go ahead.
To the Douglas guys, is there any team you guys are looking forward to competing against as you guys made your run last year?
Can you repeat your question?
Coming into this year, is there anybody you look forward to competing against as you guys try to go back to states this year?
I'm ready for anybody. It doesn't matter. I won't say we looking forward to anyone, but whoever comes in front of us, we just gonna play.
Any other questions for these guys?
How many of these guys are committed to colleges for basketball?
Show of hands. How many guys are committed to college? So just one, just Ron? Ron, go ahead.
Who would y'all, as a player, who would y'all vote as the favorite team to win the league amongst the players? Who do y'all think is the best team, preseason team, going into league play?
Besides yourself?
Besides your team, if you can.
Any division?
No, you're good.
Well, ain't no competition, huh? A lot.
Y'all scared?
Yeah, there's a lot scared. I'm not guarding a lot of you guys this year because y'all scared up here right now. Any other questions we got? Go ahead.
Yes, well, from a lot of you guys, from your 9th grade year now to becoming 11th graders and seniors.
Shout. Say your name and your class.
Devin Lancaster, 2021. One thing I learned is you gotta get your teammates in the game. Regardless, you gotta help coach them up so they all can play their best. Because as a team, y'all have a better chance than if you just worry about yourself.
Yes, sir.
My name is Mark P. Franks, class of 2020. You just gotta stay focused with your team. You know what I mean? You cannot always go against your teammates. You gotta stay focused. You always gotta be on that one path, that all that one same page. You can't just go away. You can't just, you know what I mean, disagreed with.
Great. All right, one last question. Go ahead, Ron.
For anybody, any one of the guys, how important is it to be proficient in both half-court offense as well as fast break offense?
Good question. I'm gonna pick on a guy, Mike Sumner.
What's your question? Can you repeat your question?
How important is it to be proficient as a team in half-court offense as well as fast break offense?
It's good because if you're good in half court, you're gonna be even better at full court. I guess that's what I say.
Wait, Jules.
It's good to be a good half-court team because when the game slows down, you can run your sets, and that's how a lot of teams get beat because they're just trying to run all the time. But when a team slows you down, it's hard to score if you're not a good half-court team.
I'm gonna pick on one more guy down here. Your point guard, right? All right, here we go.
Half-court set, you gotta slow it down. You get good options and a good shot.
Come on. Come on, Zori.
And you gotta make sure everybody is happy with the bleed and stuff. So you get good options and stuff, but a good looks on the shot.
Yeah. All right, let's give these guys a hand.
So how does it feel to do this kind of a media day? Your coach is setting this up right before the season starts in 2 weeks.
It's good because we get some exposure and a lot of guys that's under the radar.
What's your name?
Quinn, Hugh. So it's good.
What's your name? What's your class, man?
Quinn Messi, 2020.
Anybody else? Give it the key one.
I feel like it's good. We're getting the same recognition as everybody else. So I feel like it's real good.
Brian. Oh, no, not Brian. Flowers.
I'm Tommy, the King, class of 2021. Yeah, I feel like it's good because like everybody getting like the same equal looks, like they getting looked at, like all the private schools are getting looked at. Yeah.
A lot of that.
Kobe.
Kobe Baptiste, class of 2020. I feel like it's good because, everybody get exposure, and this is giving everybody a chance to get the equal exposure.
Next question.
How many of you guys played for different teams last year than you're playing for this year?
New guys, put your hands up. Two new guys in 4A.
How many of you guys are committed for college next year? Any of you guys play more sports than just basketball? What do you guys play?
Football and soccer. Baseball.
Football. Soccer.
Good question.
Do you guys feel any pressure for the seniors going into your last season of high school basketball?
I wouldn't say it's pressure, but I'm excited because it's my senior year and I have to make it like a movie to me, personally.
Kyron Lance, 2020. Personally, I don't feel pressure. It's just, this season for me is just giving back to a lot of people that helped me through my life.
Anybody else in there?
Q1 Freddie, class of 2020. It's This is our last year. You gotta get the
Speak
best
up.
of it. So there's no pressure.
You guys from Northwest. Get them next.
Olumide Lewis, they call me Lomi though. And yeah, it's no pressure, but it's just something to be aware of. Just gotta dog out to that shit. It's the last one, so yeah, it's exciting.
Jeremiah Woodland, class of 2020. I don't feel like there's no pressure. I just feel like, you know, since we seniors, like every game gonna count, but we just gotta have fun with it. I feel like that's all that matters. So senior season should be fun.
Marquise LA, class of 2020. I don't feel like this last season pressure. I feel like this season for us, our team Northwestern this season is the season to like wake some people up, show some people that we got talent at the school yet, and not to be overlooked all the time.
Brendan Blackson, class of 2020. I think there's no pressure. It's just more expectations that you will be in the senior year. And same point as that, you know, Laurel's overlooked on the schedules a lot of times. And I think it's just time to wake them up and show them what we're doing.
What school is that?
Laurel.
Does your generation feel the need to like protect PG and represent PG when you play outside the county, when you play Baltimore City teams or Montgomery County teams? Do you feel the necessity to protect the PG brand?
Well, the way I feel like, you know, the DMV already got like, you know, like we already known for like sports, like when it comes to sports, like we just like for the athletes. So I feel like that's already set for itself.
I feel like we got a target on our back. Like anybody out to get us. So, like, it's not really. Can you repeat what you said?
I mean, like our generation, we feel like we need to represent for PG because everybody, like you said, we have a target on our back and everybody disrespected it. Everybody thought Baltimore was better, maybe Moco was better. Do you guys, does your generation feel the same way?
Yes, we do.
I'm gonna piggyback on that question by saying this. Roosevelt won last year, but let's talk about the year before where Baltimore brought home all 4 titles. I know for me that was something that I hate seeing. Is that something that you guys think about at all? Don't all be bashful, man.
3 from me. He was shaking his head real hard. He was shaking his head real hard.
It's important because a lot of teams like the Baltimore side or the Moco side feel like they're better than us, but you know, it's obvious that we got better athletes than BG. But I mean, it kind of, yeah, like you said, it was kind of like a smack in our face when they won. What was it? 2017?
Yeah, 2017.
They won everything. 2018 when they won everything. No PG team took on one title, but happens. But
In the back right there.
Yeah, I'd like to piggyback on that. I think the better question would be who amongst you guys, as far as the team and so forth and so on, want to win the 4A championship? It starts with the goal first. So I see that you've been in. Can you give me a little bit of explanation as to what preparation, what do you guys see, or what is your vision for achieving that goal?
I'm gonna go with Bowie now. Make sure you say your name and your class.
Could you repeat your question, please?
Okay, it starts with a goal. Any vision starts with a goal. What is your goal? How do you plan to achieve that goal of winning the 4A championship?
My name is Justin Ball. I think one way we can achieve our goal, personally, from Bowie, I think just being disciplined, and always at the end is going to come out to who wants it more.
Anybody else? Go ahead and flowers.
I think the only way we can achieve our goal is everybody on the team having like the same motive and the same same goal and like wanting to do it like you came here for.
Anybody else want to piggyback on that?
It's on Eaton Class of 2020. I feel like everybody want to win, but you know, you and your team, everybody got to work. Y'all can't get to where y'all want to be without your teammates. So it's like if y'all really want to win, everybody got to ball out.
Me personally, I think it's about details, execution. Everything matters. You know, don't matter if it's the first play of the game or last play of the game. All plays matter.
I feel as though it's a mental approach. It's like how bad do you want it as a team.
All right, we'll take one last question. Go ahead.
In the off season, you know, a lot of the private schools and had the showcases in front of all these coaches. Your coaches were very vocal on not being able to participate. So what were your thoughts on not being able to participate in those showcases? And what were your thoughts on your coach's reaction on trying to make that publicly known that it was unfair for you guys not to participate in those showcases?
I feel as though like we put on the same jersey as everyone else do, and links up our shoes the same way. So it's like it's kind of not fair. I mean, it's a lot of talent here too.
I feel as though that it wasn't fair, but it also like there's a chip on our shoulder now. We gotta go out there and we just gotta get buckets basically. Just work hard every day, get in practice. Off season, we was working out wherever, working out, go to recs, working out with each other. We was bonding, trying to get each other better every day.
You want another coach?
Joseph Lovelace, class 2020. I feel like it was unfair, but at the same time, like he said, it just put a chip on our shoulder, so we gotta show people what we about, and that just made us grind harder in the offseason.
I think personally it was unfair to all of us because we all deserve the same exposure as everybody else. All being given, we give the same amount of talent, same amount of effort and dedication to the sport as anyone else.
Good job, guys. Let's give him a hand, please. All right, you guys can go ahead and have a seat, and I'm going to open it up to anyone.
I personally,
introduce yourself.
I'm Coach Kamara, John Kamara, Parkdale High School. When I heard the news about the exposure at the MAPA that the private schools and other schools were getting, I personally told a couple of my kids to actually go there to attend to see what was really going on, just as a motivation piece, so that the kids can basically understand what was really going on. I believe PG County was underprivileged in that situation, and I believe and I hope that the coaches can come together and hopefully, that our kids get that same opportunity. We deserve the same opportunity as the private schools, but me personally, I told a couple of my kids to actually go there to attend and watch what was going on and see what they weren't getting as a motivational tool to actually just get better in the gym. We had the cost that we dealt, so had to deal with it, but hopefully we can come together and change that.
Anybody else want to add?
Have any of you guys talked to the MPSSAA about this issue that you want to speak about?
I have spoken with MPSSA. Nothing's gonna change this coming spring, but let me say this: we won't be able to participate in your event this coming spring, but we're in the process of trying to organize our own event that all the Maryland State schools could participate in, so that our kids would have something. And so I hope that would happen this coming June.
Go ahead, Brian.
So with the problems that
PG County schools have had with not being able to play and like the live period events like that. How has AAU been like a help or a detriment to getting your kids recruited or anything like that?
Well, I would first say that it's not just a PG County thing too. It's a whole state thing. So, but I don't know if anyone else wants to speak on. I mean, AAU has been critical the last 5 or 10 years to be able to get recruited, especially Division I. You know, and I don't think much has changed with that. You know, I think it's a ridiculous rule, and our kids should be able to participate in it. You know, but at the same time, it was just 2 weekends. You know, probably 8 games. So I don't think it's like end all be all. I hope it gets changed, obviously, but it's not. You know, I talk to a lot of our kids. Like that's not. You know, that doesn't mean they can't go to Maryland Public School and play college basketball.
Antonio Williams, Legendary High School. I think the biggest thing to me, when I speak to my kids, I think we put too much pressure on them trying to get them to Division I. I think somebody asked earlier about academic scholarships and opportunity to play. But the live period was an opportunity for them to get more exposure. And then in the summertime, like you said, with AAU, there are select AAU teams that's in the county that's available for our kids to attend. With that being said, I think the majority of things that what we're doing today is a bigger opportunity than I think that the live period can ever present. So people can get out here and see these kids for you guys to be here. Because I know I don't personally get to see Capital Hoops on a regular, because I know there's a lot of basketball. I don't get to see other organizations that's doing the filming of games and stuff like that. So this is big for us as well.
Brian Brooks, Flowers High School. The more pressing issue that myself and Coach O'Connell experienced this past year was there are rules in place that you don't know about when you're coaching that limit when and where you can go. Say, for instance, Roosevelt, the team they had last year, had they been invited to City of Palms, they would have had to turn it down because you can't miss days of school. They would penalize a game or two, and we were trying to go out of town the day we got out for Christmas, and there was a lot of rules put in place. We had to rearrange flights, and we went out of town. It was a real bad experience because we had to go to Texas and play 2 of the best teams in Texas, an hour and a half apart, as opposed to playing a Friday game and a Saturday game. And there are rules in place that, I mean, they're actually antiquated, and that impacts recruiting because if we could get a team every year to go to some national tournaments and stay 3 or 4 days, they would come back and see other kids based on what those teams do. And I mean, those are some things we need to push for. Like he said, the live period, just 2 days, 2 weekends. And in a real situation, sometimes some kids don't play both weekends anyway. Some may come up in your family, your team may not be going, but they have us boxed in, and I don't even think they know they have us boxed in. That's the type of thing that I'm happy about being a part of this, because the attention that it's going to bring is going to really open up some doors for all these kids. But we can't go, and if somebody offered or invited us, you'd have to say no. That's a big problem. You talk about exposure, because people see a good team, the first thing they want to know is, where you from, coach? Are there other good teams where you from? You understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Anybody else want to add anything to that?
How you doing? My name is Coach Greg Hines. I coach here at Laurel. This is my second year, but first year active in here. I just want to make a comment. I'm coming from New Jersey down here. I'm also a Hampton University alum. But looking at all the coaches up here who I really don't know, but it's a good thing because I've been involved in the state of New Jersey. They do this quite often with the conferences and stuff, and where the coaches do get together and the players. Because all the coaches here is committed to all y'all young guys out there, and need all y'all young guys to know that we got your back. So kudos to this event here, and to all your coaches, all the best, and all the good health to all y'all guys.
All right,
question. What's the biggest misconception about PG County basketball?
You'll probably get two different answers from this group and from our group. So, let me go to Northwestern first when it comes to.
Coach Bergman, Western High School, I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that we don't send kids to Division I colleges. And I think that we do. I think when that question is always posed, people are waiting for a response from Duke University, North Carolina, Kansas, but we send a lot of kids to Division I colleges.
As a new guy around here myself, looking at PG County coming from Jersey, I didn't know what to expect, but I know one thing for sure, it's very competitive around here, and they look like some very good players out here, and the coaches are very wise.
Coach, y'all got anything on it?
Coach Lewis Wilson, head coach here at Dr. Henry Wise High School. I think the biggest conception for PG County basketball is the fact that we do not get enough exposure. Well, I beg the difference. A lot of us travel to different events, not even during the season, but we travel off season as well. We go to different camps, and we provide that opportunity for our student athletes to be seen and for them to get recruited. The other thing I think that our coaches are doing a great job is networking. We network with a lot of college coaches, and we want to try to help our student athletes get to the level that they're supposed to achieve at. So the big conception for us is the exposure. Here at Dr. Henry Wise High School, it's my second year here, and we want to get to a national level. So we're going to travel to places like Coach was talking about Texas. We're traveling to Florida. We'll take our kids to New Jersey, to Hampton Roads. We want to get out there and get exposure for Prince George County basketball and put PG County on the map.
Go ahead, Mark.
Question, the shot clock got instituted 2 years ago, I think, for you guys. I'm just curious what you guys think of the shot clock and if there are any other potential rule changes that you think could benefit high school basketball, public school basketball, et cetera.
I believe the use of the shot clock is very useful, and it's a benefit basically to the kids, and we were talking about exposure and things like that. It's just preparing them for the next level. Prior to the shot clock, we had a different style of play. Teams could like hold the ball for a certain amount of time, but now you're actually preparing the kids. I know some of the kids alluded to, running their sets when it slows down. Kids learn the time and situation, what to do if it's 33 seconds on the shot clock. Or 33 seconds left in the game, do you foul, one-on-one situation. So they're learning more about basketball on this level. So it's a big shout out to whoever, implemented the shot clock in PG County, because I believe these kids actually need it. So they're actually being prepared for the next level, whether it's D3, D2, Division I. They're actually, elevating their IQ level, I believe.
Xavier McFadden, coaching over at Laurel High School. As I look at the group, I'm probably the youngest out here. Played in PG County from 09 to 13. So you bringing up the shot clock, we didn't have it when I was playing. So I can kind of speak from that perspective. But I actually do like it. It's not a foreign concept. I think when we watch basketball, we know there's a shot clock. But what it does is it allows another element of the game to be developed in the players. It's a lot more decision making that comes into play. You can't play the game of keep away anymore. Like dribble the air out the ball. You can't play that style anymore. You have to. It's a lot of decision making, and that says a lot about a player's IQ. And since we're talking about exposure, when you get to the next level, because that's where I got a lot of my experience just working with. I do a lot of strength and conditioning, so work with a lot of the college teams and things like that. On that level, that's really a big thing, the IQ thing. Because once you get up there, everybody pretty much has talent, they have the skill, so now it becomes an IQ thing. So them adding that component of the game into the high school level, I think it's actually a big plus for the younger generation, just because now they get to develop that decision-making process and all the other components a lot earlier. So, I think it's a good thing, just adding another element.
Are there any other rule changes you guys can think of? I know FIBA has adopted some changes. Even the WCAC has some minor changes they've implemented. Anything that you think could benefit the
Your thoughts
game?
on the playoff change, the changes to the state playoffs, and how it's already there was iffy subjects about how the soccer teams felt and how the football teams felt. What are your thoughts on the state basketball change?
George LeBoy, Sidman High School. I'm also the athletic director at Sidman High School. I like the revamp format because the reality is that what it's set up to do is hopefully to get the two best teams playing for the state championship. Last year, Roosevelt played Delaney. Most coaches felt like Delaney and Roosevelt were the best teams, and they met in the semifinal, and it was kind of anticlimactic when Roosevelt got to the state championship. But I think we welcome the chance that you could actually get two Prince George's County teams in the state championship. I remember when Bowie played Eleanor Roosevelt in the state championship for football, and I knew changes were coming, and I didn't think they really cared for having two Prince George's County teams playing for the state championship. But all that changes now, and it's going to be fun.
Can someone talk about exactly what the changes are for those who are watching this or those who don't know what they are?
Let me take that. So what's going to happen is they were called sections before. We almost call them north and south. Like the south is Roosevelt, Flowers, Bowie, Wise, and Suitland. So we were a section. Now we're all regions. So it's 8 regions. The winner of those 8 regions, their regular season records are how they will be seeded.
And that's out of county.
That's for the whole state. So there'll be 1 through 8 for the state, for those state regions. So you might be on once you win your region, you might be going to Arundel, but the Final Four is still going to be at Maryland. But yeah, so it's just something a little different.
Can I piggyback off that? If that's the case, how do coaches feel about lining up good competition versus cupcakes to say so that they can bolster that record in hopes of getting where they want to be when it comes playoff time? I mean, I'm sure that's a decision you got to really think about, right?
I'm gonna say this is gonna probably be a catch-22 because I know on my side, the charter schools were the #1 seeds on my side, and they didn't play any of us. So it's a little bit different on our side because I don't want to end up being a 2 seed to a charter school and have to go to their house when we.
So does that mean you line up your non-conference games against teams that you're going to be?
Something to think about.
I mean, perfect. I mean, always at Bladesburg, we try to get the best competition early on in the year, regardless if it be going to Wilson playing them. But for the cupcake scenario, we only have, some may have 3 or 4 open spots anyway. And with that being said, it's not a lot of space for you. Our schedule is tight for you. I mean, we already started off the season with 16 games. Some of us may have 17 games. So it's not enough space to do that anyway.
Yeah, I'm Coach Wilson again from Dr. Henry Wise High School. And I'm going to be a mindset that to be the best, you got to play the best. So we're not going to try to play a lesser opponent to pad the numbers of the points. I think to get better, you have to play great competition. Like this year, we're going to play Frederick Douglass. We think they're a very, very good basketball team. We're going to play St. Charles down in Charles County, who's probably one of the best teams there. We're going to Florida and play some of the top teams in Florida. So that's our mindset, to get our kids better and to get exposure, to play the best. You be the best, you got to play the best. That's just our mindset.
I'll just piggyback off Coach Wilson. If it's about the kids, you really don't want to schedule cupcakes. I believe we're here for media to gain exposure for the kids. If you're scheduling a cupcake, and I don't want to disrespect any school or coach, but if it's for the kids, you don't want to put the kids in a situation where they're not getting exposure. So I believe all these coaches want the best for their kids, and you won't schedule cupcakes like Coach Wilson said they're going to play. Douglas, we want to play Douglas as well. Coach O alluded to playing Wilson in the past. You want to do that for the kids. Win, lose, or draw is for the kids. You want to make sure they get the best experience possible. And if you're trying to schedule a cupcake, I believe you're doing a disservice to the kids.
I also agree as well. I think in order to get to the state, we played a 4A, and this is one of the toughest competitions I've played against. So I have to have a some non-conference schedule. So again, if I can't get through that non-conference schedule, then I'm not going to be competitive when I get into 4A play. So it's very important for us.
You out for that. This is a great thing that y'all doing, man. I really commend you guys on that. Outside of just the bringing attention to the PG County players, what are the other goals of the PGBCA? Or did I say it right? Yeah.
That's a good question. I think our biggest goal is to bring some notoriety and to really elevate the platform for PG County basketball. You know, all due respect to the players, I think we are some really, really great players. But I myself, I coach at the college level, and I know I'm probably not half as good as a lot of these guys up here. So I want to make sure that these gentlemen get the notoriety that they deserve as well. There's some really, really great coaches up here. These guys pour their lives into their kids. I mean, we're talking about dudes who do this for, you know, a few grand for the season, and they don't get the credit for it. So I think that's the biggest thing for me in terms of the Coaches Association, making sure we elevate the platform for the kids and give these coaches an opportunity for their voices to be heard so people actually know that they're really spectacular coaches. Does anybody else want to add anything to that?
Well, you keep moving. I got to. Keep it moving.
All right, so we got the 1A, 2A, 3A coaches here, and I'll open it up for anybody who has a question.
In similar vein, you know, we asked earlier, what were some of the 4A coaches' thoughts on the playoff structure change? Same for you guys, what are your thoughts on the changes to the state playoffs?
I welcome the changes. You know, we're the only, Oxon Hill and ourselves at Potomac, we're the only 3A in Prince George's County. And early on, we may have to play each other in the first round of playoffs. Or times we had to play Poly in the second round out of Baltimore. It just seemed crazy when maybe 3 of the top teams in the 3A in the whole state had to play each other in the first and second round. That was nonsense. They knocked us out last year. We knocked them out the year before. Poly knocked us out the year before that in the second round. We had won 21 games. That just doesn't make sense against a tough schedule. So I'm glad I welcome the changes, because now the way it could be is either one of us could play Poly in the championship or teams in Baltimore instead of knocking each other out in the second game.
Coach Howard, Oxon Hill High School, it also mirrors the best teams in the state being able to play one another at the end. If you look at the Kentucky model that they have, everybody plays at Rupp Arena, very similar to that with the reseeding at the end of the regular season.
Anybody else?
Are any of you guys new? Is this going to be your first year at the school you're coaching at?
No. It's my first year as the head coach, but I've been the assistant for the past 4 years.
And what are you looking forward to as your first year as head coach? And where do you coach at, I'm sorry?
I'm Coach Kohler from Friendly High School.
Okay.
I'm looking forward, honestly, because I know this year and last year, coming in as my first year as the head coach, you know, I feel like I can learn from all these gentlemen up here. You know, I look up to a lot of them because they've been coaching for a while. You know, as the assistant for the past 4 years, I've had to do film and game plan on all these guys for the past 4 years. So, you know, just like kind of breaking down each way how each coach, you know, pressures you, how each coach, you know, attacks you and stuff like that. That's a big thing. So I feel like I can learn from each coach and kind of take something from each coach and, you know, kind of like put it together and see what works for us.
It appears from the outside that you guys landed one of the biggest impact transfers. Talk about the opportunity to, you know, get a seasoned WCAC guy like Jules on the team.
Yeah, you know, us getting Jules was really big. You know, he had a lot of interest to go a lot of other places. You know, and we kind of just, you know, lucked out, I guess, and we got Jules, and we're really happy to have him. I don't know if a lot of people know, we also have another really big new addition to our team this year, Diamante Campbell, who's the point guard over there. He's coming from North Carolina. So that he'll be playing his senior year this year at Friendly, and we're really high on him, and we're really looking forward to playing with him as well.
Any other questions? Go ahead, Jose.
What were your thoughts on, we asked earlier to the 4A coaches, so it would be good to get your feedback on exposure in the county, and how do you feel you guys are being exposed overall as basketball teams representing Prince George's County?
You can kind of tie that into not being able to participate in the live events if you want.
Well, I'll kind of piggyback on what the 4A coach was saying about not being able to participate in the live period. I don't honestly think it's that big of a deal for a lot of the student athletes because, and here's why. We're talking about 2 weekends. We're talking about 6, 7 games over the course of the 2 weekends. If that's where you garner the attention, or that's where you get your first look, then that would be great. But realistically, the way they designed it was for kids who already kind of have looks. I don't agree with it. I don't like it. I love the fact that they get to play with their high school teams, because a lot of kids play differently with their high school teams than they do with their AAU teams. So it's kind of a mixed bag of tricks when you look at it. It helps some kids because it allows them to elevate where they are, but then it hurts some others because really they can't play at that level at the next level. So that's, it's just one of those things. It really needs to be complementary. Anybody else want to add anything? Coach Perry?
I got another question. How important do you guys think basketball outside of the high school season is for your teams? I know a lot of you guys are involved in summer leagues in some capacity. Maybe some of you guys aren't and like to go to the team camps more. But what are your thoughts on basketball outside of the season?
Well, as all these guys know, I don't do fall league. I try to make sure our guys are academically set up during the fall. We only play in one summer league. We don't play in the bigger summer leagues like math and all that. We just play it from my height. And I enjoy it. We work at Potomac to develop my kids individually, a lot of workouts, and just trying to develop their skill sets, and then it's up to my coaching staff to mix it all together and get the system going. We've been doing pretty well with that model. We say if you want a high caliber AAU team, premier, takeover, those sorts of things, do that first. I have a coach on my coaching staff that I'm giving a Chuck to do takeover next summer. Do that. We'll figure out summer league. I let the guys do what they do. 5 of our best players right now are playing football. They're trying to get a state championship, and arguably one of the best players in the state. He's already signed to play football at University of Maryland. He's going to play on Sundays. I'm not worried about him playing summer league or fall league or being in the gym. He'll be all right. He's going to be ready. When we play our first game, best believe he's going to be ready. So go do that. Come back. Our system allows you to be you. That's what we do. So no, I don't do a lot of that outside. I just don't.
I'm at exactly the opposite of Coach. At Oxon Hill, we want a year-round program. We want to continually develop our guys and try to keep them together as much as possible so they can understand the nuances of what we have. We don't have a lot of time with our guys in the fall because of the state rules. We're not allowed to coach in the fall. So in the summer, whenever we have the opportunity to coach our guys, we try to get them, because you got guys that are graduating, and then you got younger guys that are moving up, getting them to understand the system and what you're doing and putting things in place. And also going to team camps, as well as the exposure camps, the hoop group, invitational, things of that nature, to make sure that our guys get an opportunity for that visibility.
I'm just like Coach Lou. We run a year-round program. The only ones that play fall league for us are our JV guys, because most times we get JV guys who either didn't play in middle school or got cut from the middle school team. We generally don't get talented kids
in our, in that 9th grade year. So half the time we got guys who are picking up a basketball for the very first time. So that's what, we focus on in the fall. In the summertime, it's a lot more team building than it is actually basketball. Camaraderie, trying to get the guys bowling alleys, things like that. Church, trying to make sure our guys are doing stuff to stay together. Those things are a little bit more important in the community that I serve, as opposed to, some guys who are probably in more predominant basketball areas. Most of my kids, we don't get a lot of kids that play collegiately, but the biggest thing for us is like career and college readiness for our guys. And then the ones that, aren't aspiring to go to college, we want to make sure we get them at trade school or military or things like that. So, the summer serves a little bit different of a purpose for me.
Can we go down the line? Can everyone say, aside from your own school, who you think the favorite in the 3A, 2A, 1A is this year?
Woo! It's tough. It's real tough. I think it's a log jam at the top. I'll be honest, if I had to pick a team that I would say win it, I would go with probably maybe Oxon Hill, because I coached Ronald Polite all summer. Didn't have to correct him too many times. Whenever he made an error, he knew what it was right away. So I really like that kid. So yeah, I'd probably pick those guys, but I think there's probably 4 other teams I could pick.
As Coach said, it's very tough to pick a winner in our league, just because of the coaches. I know that Coach Garner's going to have his fingerprints on that team, and they're going to be tough. Potomac is tough every year. I mean, every year, every team is tough. There's a lot goes into who probably could win it. But if I was to take a dark horse team, I'm definitely going to go with Coach Gardner's team.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to say their name at Douglas.
Yeah, just like the other two just said, it's every year you can name 3 or 4 teams that are just really tough to play against, and not to mention like a lot goes into playing them. I think, to be honest, Potomac and Oxon Hill are 2 of the toughest gyms to play in. Oxon Hill being one of the biggest gyms and getting the most fan base, and it's really loud in that gym. And to be honest, I think a lot of my guys, every time we ask them before the season, all that stuff, they always circle Oxon Hill. So I probably have to go with Oxon Hill.
As a coach who's coming from 4A, coming back to the 3A, 2A, 1A, one of the things that I recognized in our league was how strong it was from top to bottom. That was one of the things that I love about the 3A, 2A, 1A. It has awesome coaching going on, and then there's no nights off. At any given moment, if you're not at your best, you can walk out of the gymnasium with a loss. Obviously, I think Douglas is going to be strong. I think Oxon Hill is going to be strong. I think Fairmont Heights is going to be strong. I think Potomac is going to be strong. I think Central is going to be strong. I think Crossland, did I say Crossland? Crossland is going to be strong. I think Friendly is going to be strong. And if I had to pick one team that I would say you better be at your best and don't sleep on, I would say Surrattsville. I think Surrattsville is going to be very, very good this year. It's wonderful to coach with these guys. This is my 9th year, and Bird and Lou, even when he was at Largo, are the guys that I wanted to always beat the most. It's just real, and they wanted to rip my head off too. Coach Garner, he gave me my first assistant job when we were at Friendly, and we had a good run. There's no nights off in the 3A, 2A, 1A. Every gym is tough. Douglas gym is really tough. Oxon Hill is an interesting dynamic because we're 5 minutes apart.
and all the guys know the guys. So, I mean, they're all friends. I mean, it's crazy. Same with Crossman. You know, the boundaries are so tight. It's just, they're all boys. You know, they each other's mans. So, if I had to say it, man, it's a log jam. I can't call it. If I had my choice, I wouldn't have to play against none of these guys. You know, get me out of Rundle County or something. But I ran somewhere else. But this thing is brutal every night. So keeping it real, I got to go with Doug. As in Douglas, because he's outcoached me the last couple years, and I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna put some more gray hairs in that beard of yours.
Again, just to mirror, I've seen every one of these coaches up here at summer events, and that just goes to the work and the dedication, the ethic, work ethic that they have for each individual program. We're friends, we're colleagues, and always being competitive with one another. Don't ever want to say who the favorite is, because we see how those things work out. The favorite oftentimes doesn't get it, but everybody has grinded over the summer and over the years. Is again, the visibility piece for Prince George's County basketball, the 3A, 2A, 1A, is extremely important. And I've seen everyone on this stage out and about with our young student athletes getting that visibility. So it's just going to be tough. It's going to be extremely competitive. Definitely would want you to come out and see.
So you're going to be the only coach not to answer the question?
I just answered it. Everybody's got an opportunity to be successful. I'm not going to say that who's the out and out favorite. Everybody,
because he knows he's the favorite.
Coach Bird, that's a great question. When you look at these guys, and you ask me to pick, that's probably one of the toughest things I have to do, other than put the team together. Because these guys put a lot in to what they do. Just like the coach from Friendly said, he knows everything that we do. And if you don't think one of these coaches know my scheme, my plays, you're making a big mistake. So at the end of the day, it's about these kids showing up and bringing their best game. So I'm going to pick somebody, and I'm going to say it because I've been chasing this guy for a while. You know, we grew up together, we went to school together. You know, and he has set that foundation. I'm gonna go with Douglas, all right, because they constantly set that standard and not taking nothing from anybody else. Because at any given time, you can have a winner at any given time. All right.
My mouth hurt.
I'm Coach Tucker, filling in for Coach Pugh. I think from Central High School, so I think the entire league is tough to battle. I've been here 11 years at Central, and we compete against every single one of these guys. So I think everybody, like I said, I don't really think there's no favorite. I think it's any given night of the 1, 2, 3A. Another thing, like I said, it'll be an interesting year for us this year. We'll be in Forestville. They got to come to the box, so we just getting adjusted. So I think it's going to be, every night somebody come to Forestville, it's going to be very interesting for us because it's a different environment. You got to get used to the small gym. But like I said, I'm not going to give it to nobody, but everybody's a quality coach up here, and it's going to be competitive every night. So I'm not going to pick one. I think all of us are great coaches. And I think it's going to be any given night.
Expand on what you just said. Your school's your gym's being
about
renovated?
Forestville, yes. We'll be in Forestville. Central will be moved to Forestville. We've been there for 2 years.
Okay.
Playing in there, so it'll be adjustments for us. Playing in a small gym is very small. It's really a middle school gym.
Okay.
So the court got wide and it's not wide. So it's going to be a very challenging year for us, for the Central team that play there and for the teams that visit there also.
I was just playing with you, man. Now, just to piggyback off what everyone else said up here, definitely a tremendous opportunity just to be a part of Prince George's County basketball and what everyone is a part of, and Coach Chuck and everyone else in the 4A and also our league has put together. You can't take any nights off, to be honest.
Right. Okay.
So, with that being said, I want to thank Coach Gardner for giving me a shout out. Thank you, sir.
How important is it to build a winning, sustainable culture in your program? I mean, you got a lot of long-time coaches up there, a lot of strong organizational coaches, but how difficult and how important is it to establish that if you're going to be a long-term winner?
JV. If you don't invest in your JV, none of this works. I get a beating sometimes about keeping 11th graders on JV, but if you're not ready, you're not ready. And so a lot of my 11th graders who played JV in 11th grade, they come in ready. They know the system. Some of them have played JV since 9th grade. Some of them may got cut in 9th grade. So they lost that year. So I have no problem with investing in my JV situation. I monitor the progress of the JV every single day with the JV coaches. They got to tell me every day who played well in practice and what's going to be the lineup next game, because it changes, it evolves. Who should I move down? Is anybody ready to move up? So it's an ongoing situation.
Well, for me, it's going even a little bit further than that. Being at Gwynn Park, we're starting even younger than that. Going over to the feeder schools, the middle schools, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, and trying to establish relationships. When they say trust the process, sometimes patience is missing in that equation. You got to be patient. It's not a microwave. It's an oven, so you got to put the work in, put the time. The culture, in my opinion, outweighs the winning now for longevity purposes. I'd rather build the culture now and win later than win now and lose a lot later.
Bird, you want to comment?
Yeah, I think culture is pretty much what is the separation from the most consistent programs and the ones that aren't, because you have quality kids who are good kids in the building, are good kids outside of the building, good students, and their goal is to become a good teammate and to see the success of your program. So for me, I've been in 3 different communities: Capitol Heights community, the Suitland community, Upper Marlboro, and it's different. They all have different styles of neighborhoods, but we still want to have quality kids and keep it consistent. So your culture means pretty much everything. If you got good kids, like now, I got a kid a former player who's a math teacher at the school. Just graduated from Bowie High School, Bowie State last year. That's to me, that's a state championship trophy that I can see every day in the building for me personally. Then I have a lot of kids who come back Christmas time from college. So, if you're a senior, you don't get a college scholarship, the culture of the program still should have you wanting to move on and represent your program on the next level, business-wise, school-wise. So that's pretty much the culture that we try to create, is that, it's just not about basketball. You should want to take it to the next level and come back and help the kids that are there.
I agree with all these guys. I think culture is really important because it really lays the foundation for everything that you want to do. Not just on the court, but in the classroom, making sure that the kids are doing what they're supposed to do in the classroom. Again, all of us have different communities that we serve, and in the community that I serve, sometimes grades aren't as highly, they don't rank as high as basketball, in some of the families. So we make sure we kind of put that emphasis on the fact that basketball kind of comes secondary, or basketball does come secondary to everything else that we're trying to do in the classroom and in the community. So again, trying to make sure that our kids are prepared for school beyond, the fact that they graduate. Some may not go on to play college basketball, so just making sure that they're prepared for life is a good part of the culture. And, that's something that the culture doesn't just stand for the team and the coaches, but it's also the managers, the people that work the games, the janitors, the administration, like all that stuff, is included in the culture. If anyone who doesn't include that stuff is really kind of fooling themselves. All that stuff is important.
All about it. And Coach Gardner talked about the 6th, 7th, 8th grade. If you come to Potomac, it's because you want to be there. I don't want anybody, I don't want their parents, I don't want nobody who doesn't want to be at Potomac to be at Potomac. I went to Potomac, he went to Potomac. We were recruited out of Silver Hill Boys Club to every private school in the thing. Now you name it. I came to Potomac because I wanted to be at Potomac. So that's part of the culture, Ron. So I don't want people to say, I'm only here, but I'd rather be at McNamara. No, go to McNamara. Go. I'll help you, I'll pay your tuition. But folks that come through the door, they want to be at Potomac. Once they want to be at Potomac, I'm going to invest 100% in building them. Academically, religiously, athletically, whatever. So that's part of the culture of keeping a sustaining program. Get the guys that want to be there September 5th. Okay, you want to be here? Yes, coach. You want me to make you a better player? Yes, coach. I got you, son. That's how we do it at our place. Don't be one here and want to be somewhere else. St. John. No, go there first. And if they come, I got them. But I ain't chasing nobody to come play our program because we got a blue chip program.
I just want to say something real quick. Being as the first year head coach, and with the guy Coach Vincent, who's been my mentor for the past 4 years, and we instilled a system at Friendly. Friendly only has about 500 students in the whole school, so it's very small. Between us and Central, we're probably two of the smallest schools in the whole county. But what really, when you can see the players that you have coached in the past couple of years come back because they missed that culture. Like the last practice we had 4 guys that have graduated in the past 2 years come and just watch because they miss the culture, of what we have done for them and what they have given to the school. So, when you see kids come back because they want to come back, it's not because their parents were like, oh, go say hi to coach. No, it's like, the one kid said, Coach, I haven't even been home yet. This is the first stop I did. I came right here because I wanted to say hi to everybody, So when you see things like that, especially from players in the past, and I'm sure all these guys have seen it before and they're going to see it in the future, that really tells you that you're doing something right either way, whether it's you're being like a father figure to them or just a mentor other than basketball, So once you see those kids come back because they want to come back, I feel like that's something then that's supposed to tell you that, your culture or whatever you're doing is the right thing. So I just wanted to say that.
Okay, so we're good with the questions here. Let's please give these gentlemen a